Hello and welcome to Magic Park this afternoon for round 12 of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Two sides that just love to hate each other. Broadmeadow Magic up against the Edgeworth Eagles this afternoon. Broadmeadow, they'll want to get back in the winner's circle. For Edgeworth, they want to continue this unbeaten run. James Cleal, the referee for this afternoon's match. So it'll be Broadmeadow in their home kit, predominantly red. From right to left, Edgeworth from left to right in their white away kit. And James Cleal sends us on our way. Fatchovic leaves it back for Peter Haynes. Goes across to Sonata and now Virgili. Damien Smith. Is there an upset here in Broadmeadow Magic this afternoon?
Yeah, maybe. You know what? You never discount Broadmeadow. I keep saying that. They've got some very attacking weapons. At the moment, Edgeworth are the form side of the competition. You know, they took the lead or leapfrog Lambton last weekend with a last-minute result against Lake Macquarie, so they're going to be very hard to beat. But you know what? Magic haven't clicked into gear this year yet, and they're soon to do. Looking at Edgeworth, they've changed their shape this week. They're going 5 at the back, it looks like, at the moment. So just looking at the early shape, playing like a 5-3-2.
Yeah, last weekend, Broadmeadow Magic, they went down here against Hamilton Olympic last Sunday. 2-1 defeat. Nate Clavalier leaves it for Pat Wheeler. Now Pasquale. Lucky Pasquale. He's been out of the starting side for a few weeks now, but he's back. The record says that when he does start for Edgeworth, they rarely lose. It's James Virgili. Down the far side of the ground. Plays it into Bazari and over for an early Magic corner. They started positively last weekend against Hamilton Olympic and took the lead inside the opening quarter hour. And then they just went out of the match, gave away a silly penalty, and was curtains from that point for Broadmeadow. They just couldn't get themselves going again after that.
Yeah, I thought they were unlucky last week. They had a few chances to get back into the game. I thought they controlled, especially the first half an hour. But yeah, just two penalties, which in a way, you know, they could have avoided.
Luke Virgili curling this one in. And that's where Magic have been most dangerous this year, from the set pieces. So corner kick was a good chance for them to get themselves going this afternoon, but not so.
Yeah, it's good to see Johnny Griff back. He popped his AC joint a few weeks ago, so he's back in the starting lineup. And virtually a direct swap from last week from Shane Paul, who injured his ankle during the match against Hamilton.
Scott Robertson goes wide to Luke Virgili, and Tyson Cummings is back on the Magic bench this afternoon, which is great to see. He was injured his ankle in the pre-season down against Wollongong Wolves, and he's back on the bench this afternoon. So good for this young striker with so much potential. He could be one of the Magic greats if he stays here. It's the throw from Luke Virgili, looking for Dino Fatchovic. Squaring it up for Peter Haynes. Fatchovic yet to score this year. That is so surprising. I just remember that match he played against the Lambton Jaffers on Good Friday.
Could have scored 3. He was unlucky. He played a tremendous game, but yeah, hasn't
last
scored.
Weekend as well against Hamilton, he had an early chance in the box. Dylan Holtz now just gets cut out. Scott Robertson goes to Luke Virgili now. On to Holtz, but this Edgeworth side, they've been so strong of late. Kieran Sanders scored a hat-trick against Hamilton in the FFA Cup. And
he looked very good that night, didn't he? Playing in that forward, sort of a striker's role. So just looking at Edgeworth, like they've been playing a 4-3-3 for the majority of the year, but they've gone to a 5-3-2 today. It's an interesting choice by Damien Zane. Great turn by Haynes.
Fascinating. Just another string to Damien Zane's bow. He just constantly changes things up. You don't know what to expect, do you, as an opposition coach?
I was downstairs looking at the team sheet and I was trying to picture his side on the park and I just couldn't do it. So I tried to grab him before the game, but I only had a few seconds with him. So, yeah, surprising the shape, but it'll be interesting to see how it goes today. I've mentioned before on the coverage, especially when Lambton have played, I don't mind 3 or the 5 at the back.
It's the turn from Brodie Taylor. Scored twice against Magic last year, did Edgeworth's number 9. As Hayden Bryce almost sat back up for Dylan Holtz, but Matt Houle with a timely intervention, and he sends Carl Bradbury on his way. It's been relatively quiet in 2017 after a dominant last season from Carl Bradbury. 4th top scorer last year, 17 goals, 14 of those in the regular season this season. Just the 3 after, and past, I should say, the halfway mark we are now. Just 3 goals for Carl Bradbury, and the leading scorer, James Virgili, he's only scored 4. Last year, he scored 18. It's Matt Houle. Squares it up for Luke Virgili.
Magic with no width at all here.
Goes to Bradbury.
Too tight.
Spread it through.
Too tight. Played into Edgeworth's hands there.
Matt Houle diving in on Hayden Bryce, and now Dylan Holtz, and there's 2 strong characters coming together. They're Piddington and Holtz. Brodie Taylor looks to get his head to it. Kieran Sanders, his first match against Broadmeadow Magic. He missed the round 1 meeting.
That was a great ball.
Here's Adam Corley. Edgeworth, that hasn't taken them long. They're into the front.
What a great ball by Dylan Holtz. And a great little run by Adam Corley. Ducked in behind the back 4, and he had a great turn and finished. No one tracked the runners.
And as quickly as that, Broadmeadow are behind, and Josh Piddington is in a load of strife.
Yeah, that was a challenge with Dylan Holt. That was a very solid challenge between Pennington and Dylan Holtz. But just going back on that goal, we haven't got any replays here, Bart, but that was a great ball in by Dylan Holtz. Just composure, just played it in. But it was a run by Adam Corley which fooled the Magic defence and the defenders. I keep saying each week, forward runs are the hardest ones to defend against, and there's a great example. Well, no one tracked the runner.
This would be a huge blow if Josh Piddington was forced off so early in this contest.
Be hard to keep Josh Pennington off in a clash like this, but
yeah, it will be. Saw him play virtually on one leg against Hamilton Olympic last season in the second leg of the semi-final as Carl Bradbury brought to ground.
Yeah, Daniel McBreen's missing today. He's at the Hong Kong Sevens over in Hong Kong, obviously.
Yeah, the Hong Kong...
representing Old Walls End with Michael Bridges.
Michael Bridges there as well. Yeah, so very good weekend for Daniel McBreen. I don't know if he's watching. Do you think he'd be watching? It's the time.
Oh, he loves Bar TV, he tells me, because we always praise him.
Takumi Tanada whipping the cross in. Matt Houle. But that goal from Edgeworth, gee, they opened up, and they opened up quite terribly, Broadmeadow there. Just so much space was there. Wasn't there, I should say. Here's the ball
they just didn't track the runners. And like I was saying, them deep runs from behind from midfield are hard to track.
I should mention, I don't think we have mentioned, we did in the show during the week that, well, I feel that if Magic don't win this afternoon, their finals hopes are gone.
I wouldn't say gone just yet, but going to be very difficult.
The flame is just barely flickering, would you say? I've said that if Broadmeadow lose this afternoon and make the finals, they deserve to be there. If they win 7 of their last 9 and go on a run like that, you can't say they don't deserve to be there. But based on their early season form, you just can't see it happening.
It's so ad hoc, isn't it, their form? So
they beat the Jets Youth 5-1 2 weeks ago. Then last week, in the match against Hamilton the week before, they were beaten 7-0 by
Dylan Holtz.
Maitland. As here's Holtz playing in Corley for a double. Adam Corley, and he just puts it wide. Edgeworth are all over Broadmeadow like a rash at the moment.
Yeah, Dylan Holtz has been very busy early in the game. Already got 1 assist, could have the 2nd assist there. The ball sort of bobbled on Adam Corley just initially, so...
John Sopoulos to the head of Fajkovic, flicks it on for Virgili. 7 matches without defeat in the NPL Northern New South Wales for Edgeworth now. They're in trouble. Just not too long ago against Hamilton back in
early
round 7, and they've turned it around. Kieran Sanders.
Oh.
It's away from Virgili. It's a boot in. Magic with the throw. They've won their last 4, Edgeworth. They've won their last 5, I should say. And they've all been tight. They've all been so tight. And last year they put some sides to the sword. But Damien Smith, the scores in that 5-match winning run, 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-1. Just doing enough.
What they do, they know how to get the job done. They know how to close out games. They do it perfectly. You know, they're a young squad, but they're an experienced squad now. Some of these players have been playing first grade for the last few years. And I've said for the last few weeks, but they're the side that's impressed me the most this year. And they're going to be very hard to beat.
It's the ball over the top looking for Peter Haynes. We talk about Edgeworth unbeaten in 7. Broadmeadow have only won 1 of their last 7. Just 1 of their last 7. That's surprising, isn't it? For a side that
started off so well.
They did. Started off brilliantly. 2-0 over Western. They had a 1-1 draw with Edgeworth in the opening round. 3-2 went over Valentine. They were flying early on. And then since that 4-1 defeat to Lake Macquarie, we were here that afternoon. It's just all gone pear-shaped for them. There's a poor ball. Maybe an opening here for Magic. Just a mistake from Edgeworth. We've got another match also going on this afternoon at Macquarie Field. Lake Macquarie up against Western. Side that Edgeworth beat in the 91st minute last weekend. Aidan Bryce with the goal. 2 goals in the final 8 minutes of that one. Kigo Moriyasu is on the bench this afternoon. Scored the equaliser for Edgeworth after Matt Tui opened the scoring. And that one's still at 0-0 at the moment. Adam Corley. It's back for Evans. Fajkovic, and a little bit of miscommunication between Evans and Cavalier, but they got the ball away in the end.
Great ball in, great touch by Brody Taylor.
Aaron McLaughlin, he'd have fond memories of this ground. Scored the winner against Broadmeadow here in 2015. In the last minute as well. Here's Brody Taylor onto Aidan Bryce. Well, he has got Luke Virgili here. Now, he's going to get a yellow card here, but I don't know if there was anything too malicious in that. It was just sort of
a little bit accidental, wasn't it? Yeah, just the way Luke was falling awkwardly. Like we said, we haven't got the replays here, but
we have seen some stomps in recent weeks that you could argue maybe weren't, but that looked to me like it was.
It was good to see Aidan Bryce go and tap Luke Virgili on the back. So sorry, mate.
See if he's got any. Looks to be all right. So Giant Sopless is going to look long. Wasn't quite sure, Damien, if you heard there what Magic players were discussing.
Yeah, so Peter Haynes said to the referee, like Luke Virgili came off the park, so they thought because he was injured, when you're injured you have to come off the park until the referee calls you back on. But because he received a yellow, the player received a yellow, the player can stay back on the park.
That makes sense to me. This is Takumi Sanada. We thought he opened his account last weekend, but he didn't, and it was awarded as an own goal. Last weekend, his free kick, which deflected off the back of Grant Brown, and then Tyler Warren, the save into the post. It's Pat Wheeler. Wants it back to Josh Evans. We're talking midweek, and during this week, we're going to announce the team, or yours, Smudge, and CT's team of the first round of the NPL Northern New South Wales. Josh Evans, I was going to say, is probably going to be close to in both of those. Here's Brody Taylor, and maybe if he waited, Adam Corley was at the back post, but he took it on. That's the confidence Edgeworth have got at the moment.
And the thing with Edgeworth, they like playing the ball forward and early, and they do it very well like then. Sanders had a touch, knocks it forward to Brody Taylor. Then they're on the attack. He gets round Pennington, and they're unlucky not to score.
And what are your thoughts on Takumi Sanada playing at right back? He played a
I'm unsure
in the midfield to start the season, but since the injury to Lawrence Foturf, he's been out there at right back. And Jeremy Wilson was originally brought in, but then in that Maitland game, Josh Dutton Black just
Yeah, he had a field day. Oh, great turn by Bradbury.
Good afternoon. Here's Carl Bradbury. Maybe a chance here for Broadmeadow. Wide for Fajkovic. And he finally scored this season.
Look at 3 Edgeworth defenders.
He scored in the last win that Broadmeadow had against Edgeworth. They haven't lost in 8 matches against Broadmeadow Magic, dating back to 2015. Round 3. Dylan Holtz. It's across the ground for Dom Bazari. Smudge, you've been very impressed with him, haven't you, in recent weeks?
Yeah, especially playing in that number 6 role just in front of the back 4. Just a screening. He was good out of the match against Valentine.
Giant Soplis takes that one well.
However, he's playing in more of a back 3 left sort of stopper role today.
Peter Haynes. He scored the opener against Edgeworth in round 1 from the penalty spot.
Pat Wheeler's been brilliant this year for me as well. His combination with Josh Evans at the back has been superb.
There's Josh Evans trying to find Dom Bazari. I know we'll get a better indication of this.
And again, see that
Brody
forward
Taylor.
ball.
Well, Josh Piddington. Well, the free kick has gone against Brody Taylor there.
That was a lucky one. Could have went either way, that one.
Well,
it looked like Brody Taylor was slightly in front of him from this angle, so probably James had a tougher angle.
Yeah, I thought it very much. Brody Taylor could be aggrieved with that decision, but he didn't argue.
Dom Bazari is a brilliant defender.
Adam Corley. Now to Dylan Holtz. Got Matt Hoole in front of him. Now Pat Wheeler.
The difference at the moment with Magic and Edgeworth, Magic's midfield are rotating, they're moving, they're finding space. Magic's midfield is very stagnant.
John Griffiths back to Sonata. It's the team, or the best team of the 21st century in northern New South Wales. Broadmeadow Magic up against the side who has been unstoppable in the last few years. Virgili cutting it back for Cale Bradbury. Sits back up for Matt Hoole now. He goes wide for Luke Virgili. Virgili takes them on. Whips it in into the back of the goal.
That's where you see Virgili at his best. Not in that occasion, but when he gets one-on-one out wide. And this year we haven't seen him too high and wide. That's the first occasion today, and we've been going for, I have no idea, 15 or so minutes.
So still 0-0 at Macquarie Field. Dylan Holtz now to Kieran Sanders. And they've got 2 weeks of huge matches coming up Edgeworth.
Josh Piddington read that perfectly.
Dylan Holtz and Josh Piddington wins the free kick again. Next weekend up against Lambton, and then the weekend after an FFA Cup match against Lambton.
It's a massive game next week, Edgeworth versus Lambton. I see Michael Bolcher as I was walking in today. He hasn't slept from last night. He's obviously disappointed with the loss.
I think he's still wondering how they lost.
Yeah, they played very well. I thought Hamilton, just a 10-minute period, they fell asleep and it was all over.
Just those scores from yesterday. Valentine 3-1 over Charlestown. 3-2 Lambton over Hamilton as Luke Virgili steps past a couple. And Pat Wheeler with a strong challenge, and it'll just be the goal kick.
Pat Wheeler in one-on-one defensive play, very, very good. He's been one of the best this year.
Adamstown yesterday went down 3-2 to the Jets youth as well, so it was a goal fest. The matches yesterday, Brody Taylor. He threaded that through perfectly. Kieran Sanders was off and away again. It's Cavalier. 5 clean sheets for him this season. Matt Hoole, it's the constant debate. He's got such a good defence in front of him. A lot of people argue, well, he hasn't had much to do, but when he has had things to do, he's done very well. Nate Cavalier.
Yeah, he's had a great season. Like I said, we're looking at our team of the first round, and I've got him in my mixes with the goalkeepers with about another 3 others, so I still need to cull it down to 2, don't I, Bart?
Well, that's the thing Damien Zane said to me during the week. He said, yes, he probably hasn't had as much to do as the other keepers, but the thing is, you've got to make that save in the 77th minute when the opposition's only had 1 or 2 chances. You've got to come up with that save.
Exactly.
And Nate Cavalier has done that this season.
But also you look at errors from... He hasn't done any errors. Some goalkeepers have done a few errors here and there.
Matt Houle.
He just consistently does his job. And that's what you want from a goalkeeper.
Dylan Holtz just dragged to ground. James Cleal just wants the free kick brought back. It was a pivotal moment yesterday from the free kick. It's Luke Vigili down again, but yeah, the quick free kick from Pat Brown, turning that match at Arthur Eden Oval yesterday afternoon. He's been in the wars. The opening 20 here, Luke Vigili. This time he will have to leave the park. Now, just in this opening half of the first half, Smudge, we saw them both in round one. Do you just think Broadmeadow...
Very even game, wasn't it? Very.
Do you think Broadmeadow have stagnated since then and Edgeworth have improved? Would that be the difference at the moment?
100%. Edgeworth's definitely improved. You know, they started the season off quite slow, but now they're really starting to click into gear. And that was shown that game against Hamilton in the FFA Cup 2 weeks ago. They were brilliant.
Well, Damien Zane knew that they would start slow because they only started pre-season training very late on in the piece after they had a very long season last year. They only finished at the start of October. That was when they played Sydney Olympic in the NPL final. It's Takumi Sanada.
And he had a few injury concerns and suspensions. For example, Kieran Sanders was out for the first 3 weeks, serving a suspension. So it's great to have him back. And he's been instrumental since he's been back.
Vigili for Robertson. Hayden Bryce comes in. The pressure. Now Bradbury gets in a bit of a tangle with Wheeler. Gets himself out of it.
Great ball by Hurl.
Now to Bradbury. Open pastures in front of him. Back for Fajkovic, but
so
Fajkovic had players around him, didn't he?
And that's what I talk about width again. Like if there's someone out wide, Bradbury could play the ball out wide, and you could start from there.
It's John Griffiths.
Like now I like to see James Vigili a lot higher.
Sonata takes them on. Ball falls for Vigili, but Don Bazzara uses his body really well.
I think Ruben likes his wide players to tuck in for the fullbacks to overlap, but the problem is the fullbacks aren't overlapping until late, so they've got no width, and it's just congested in the centre. So for me, I wouldn't mind if the wide players started wide, and as the fullbacks are bringing the ball forward, then they tuck in. Just tuck into the pockets.
Just sense your frustration, Smudge, with this. And it isn't just this week, it's just been in the last few weeks with Broadmeadow just playing so condensed.
And there's no space, and especially today with Edgeworth having 3 at the back, 3 central fullbacks and 3 in the centre. That's 6 players congesting the centre of the park. You can't play through the centre. You need to go around them.
Over the first part of the opening half. First half of the opening 45 here at Magic Park, and it's Edgeworth with the lead. Adam Corley with a goal for Edgeworth. His first in Eagles colours. Lockie Pasquale goes up and over the top. Kieran Sanders just offside. The Edgeworth fans not impressed, is it?
You know what? I'd like to see that again. We haven't got replays, but from first thought...
Yeah, if you do want to check it again, because we've got the stream on YouTube this afternoon, you just scroll it back a touch and can have a look. So if you're at home watching.
For me, that was touch and go, but I was up with just a quick glimpse.
And it's perfectly in line with us, isn't it, too? So it's a nice angle. It's Kieran Sanders.
I just like the way he made his run. He made it early, and Pasquale played the ball early, or Corley.
And look at this. This is this width from Edgeworth, and McLaughlin just lets himself down with the final ball. And he found himself with acres of space out there. I was going to say this is Edgeworth's first trip back to Magic Park since the grand final against Broadmeadow. They won 2-1. James Vigili scored the opener, and then Daniel McBreen. We mentioned he's
nice ball
in Hong Kong, not here this afternoon. Scored a double that afternoon for a 2-1 win for the Eagles. It's Josh Evans. Now to Holtz. Now Dylan Holtz. And poor ball. There's a bit of frustration from Holtz as he looked for McLaughlin. Just a little off the pace there, Aaron McLaughlin. A couple of times with that final ball in, and then playing in front of McLaughlin there, Dylan Holtz, and just wasn't awake to it.
I will say Sonata's throw-ins are lucky to be legal for me.
I'll have to have a look.
Have a look. His last two, to be honest, I didn't have a close look, but his last two, I thought they just look a bit odd.
It's one of those things referees at this level probably don't look at that often, do they? They expect the players to be pretty good with their throws.
Yeah, I need to have a closer look. Oh.
Brody Taylor, that just a little deep, but that was really well worked from him.
But what I liked about it, he just turned and whipped it in nice and quick. Where for me, Magic, they just have that extra touch at the moment.
Peter Haynes onto Griffith.
That's better.
Back for Haynes. He goes long and almost finds James Virgili. Don Bazari with the boot up. Piddington threads it through. They've stemmed the bleeding. Broadmeadow after Edgeworth started so fast as here's Bradbury and Pat Wheeler with the clearance away.
And again, there's 4 defensive players for Edgeworth in and around the 6-yard box.
Well, Sanders is bundled over Sonata. Yeah, they're so mobile, aren't they?
They're so mobile, but their structure's just sound, and they condense the centre of the park all the way through. It's hard to get through. That's better.
Here's Virgili curling one in. Here's Peter Haynes there. He scored against Edgeworth last time, and he can't keep his shot down.
Better by Virgili, got past and whipped it in. See, I like Virgili high, wide and right. Nice. That's better.
It's very unlike Peter Haynes, wasn't it? To not at least hit the target.
Yeah, the ball was sort of bouncing on his least favoured foot. He sort of waited for the ball. Sometimes you can go towards the ball and you sort of try and get it on the half volley. So send a little bit flat there.
Scott Robertson and
we've got the Lord Mayor of NBN, Lord Mayor of Newcastle again. He's arrived again. Mitchell Hughes from NBN News. That rhymes perfectly.
Copying stick from all the Broadmeadow people because I never turned up.
Well, Mitch, I was thinking you were going to be bad luck because the last time you were here, wasn't it 7-0 or something? Was that the last? So I thought they were going to tell you to leave. Is he still in Holtz? There's Matt Hoole. Goes back for Luke Virgili. Hoole goes back and finds Piddington.
Edgeworth are always putting pressure on the ball,
Sonata.
which causes the turnover for Magic.
And that's the thing. If Magic turn it over here, all of a sudden, it's 2-on-2 up front.
That's right.
Matt Hoole.
That's better. See, width.
Now for Virgili. Takes it down to the byline. Virgili, get away from
well, didn't
Bryce.
He? Yeah,
Too strong, wasn't he?
Virgili had a chance to whip it over first time, but he elected to take Bryce on, but Bryce held his ground. He did very well.
Bradbury goes back for Luke Virgili, curling it in. It's a nice take. That was coming quicker than what it looked. Nate Cavalier took it nicely up in front of his eyes. Scott Robertson in front of Sanders. Now for Sonata.
That's better. I didn't make it, but Virgili high and wide.
And the difference, I was just going to say to you, Smudge, from my point of view, is Scott Robertson comes into the back of Brody Taylor and earns the eye of the referee. Is Edgeworth, when they go wide, they're a lot quicker, aren't they?
A lot quicker. And they play forward quicker and a lot quicker, but then they get rotating midfielders, creating space for the next ball to be played through, and that's what they do well.
You saw from that ball that it was a slow ball. Aiden Bryce had enough time to roll a cigar as he went up to intercept that one as this ball in, and Giant Sopolis takes it nicely.
And the thing, it was quite a high ball as well, so it was sort of held up into the wind. So they should bounce it.
Luke Virgili. And Kale Bradbury is just overrun by Pat Wheeler. Just too much strength. He bumps over Hoole. Holtz threads it through. Brody Taylor Another chance for him. He just scuffs the shot wide.
And that came from Pat Wheeler. That was a great tackle on Carl Bradbury. And again, Dylan Holtz nearly had another assist. He's having a fine game in the centre of the park, Dylan Holtz.
John Griffiths for Fajkovic. He scored, as I mentioned, in that last win that Broadmeadow had against Edgeworth in 2015. Adam Corley.
Great run by.
Again away. He's got Kieran Sanders in the middle. He just couldn't get the height from the ball in. Peter Haynes, he scored one that Friday night. And Carl Bradbury scored a double. That would have been his third match in Magic colours after switching over from the Jaffas.
That's a lot better by Magic. Quicker play, better ball speed, better movement off the ball.
McLaughlin.
Oh,
Like for Sanders, he's offside just a smidgen again.
yeah, it just looked like he sneaked offside from this angle. Only just, but.
Robertson for Hoole again. They're very restless down below us, aren't they, Smudge, the Magic faithful?
They know how important this game means to Magic.
5 matches at home this season for Broadmeadow. They've only won 2 of them. 2 wins, 3 losses. And the losses, they've been hefty. 7-0 against Maitland. 4-1 against Lake Macquarie.
Yeah, even just watching then, Lauren McLaughlin got the ball. Brady Taylor's already on his bike going forward. So they're on the attack all the time.
Look at this, Josh Evans just getting in front of Fajkovic with ease there. And now Edgeworth centre back. Just able to control things. Go back to Aiden Bryce. They're just one step ahead. That's pretty much what it's been for the opening half. It's Edgeworth just seemed to be a little bit faster, a little bit sharper. Both physically and mentally as well as Don Bazari. Nice touch for Wheeler. Don Bazari. Chipping up and over the top, and Scott Robertson heads down for Luke Virgili. Again, Edgeworth. The interception, and Nate Cavalier.
Sanders is offside there.
Just caught himself offside a few times, Kieran Sanders.
He likes to hug the touchline, like the forward, doesn't he? Like a Barisha.
Yeah, Sanders showing an array of skills, the Englishman. Brody Taylor curling this one in, and Aaron McLaughlin, it was just a little too high for him. Look at this from Adam Corley, just that desire to get after the ball. Just couldn't quite rein it in.
And that's a great call. It's all like, Edgeworth showing a bit more intensity than Magic for my liking.
So that's what it's been.
Even then, Adam Corley, the ball's going out, but he chased it right till it went over the white line.
I just feel like the last few seasons, even Broadmeadow Magic, they haven't been as clinical as they were, even I'd probably say 2013 and before. And they won so many premierships, and since 2013 they've been up and down. They've had really good matches. And
he's free.
Here's Dylan Holtz again. Holtz and Giant Stopulus, a great save. Keeps Broadmeadow in it. Well, momentarily maybe. Holtz again. And
he's a menace, isn't he? He's everywhere, Dylan Holtz. I rate him highly, as you know. But he's just busy and he's hard to track. He's always constantly moving and constantly making those forward runs. And he's demanding the ball.
I'm gonna say it, Smudge, but there's probably been a debate about the league the last few years. Broadmeadow, just with the core of players, you know, you've got this young up-and-coming Edgeworth side and this older Magic side. And maybe Broadmeadow just need to blood some of those youngsters. That's what I've noticed this afternoon, just with Edgeworth, just that one little bit ahead. What do you think about that?
Yeah, totally agree. I think Zerubin only brought in 2 or 3 players. I think you need to bring in at least 5 players. Next year they need to bring in at least 5 players. See what's going to stay, see what's going to move away. Still a long way to go this season. There's still some quality players.
Here's Sanders offside again. But I don't think you can blame Ruben
no, you can't.
So much, because he's come in and, you know, he's taken on the squad and inherited the squad. So, and I'd like to know so much of these 11 players out there, how many were in the side when You were coaching back in, what was it,
2012?
2012 was your
was my last year. I could tell you.
Do a quick count out there.
I'm going to go 1, 2, 3.
Here's Dylan Holt, so I smudge is counting as Holtz tries to thread it through and Matt Hill with a boot in. And look at this, Brodie Taylor. He had no right to get in front of Scott Robertson there, and he does. Now the throw for Edgeworth.
Yeah, there's 6.
Yeah,
Carl Bradbury was playing 20s.
Yep.
All the 20, they won the grand final and off the bench for us. Had the likes of Andrew Hill as well, so there was 6 from our 2012 side.
So it's a huge bulk.
And also
of the
there's
squad.
Shane Paul and Pettit, so there's 8. So 6 starters today.
And probably 8 if you...
Shane Paul
and Scott Pettit. So 8 of 11 potentially in matches. Some matches this year it would have been 8 of 11, and that was 5 years ago. That's a long time. Pasquale, and it's been Edgeworth's focus on youth that has seen them be so dominant over the years. And that's why I think it'll be exciting for Broadmeadow Magic to see these guys, Jacob Dowes, Tyson Cummings, Charlie Cox coming off the
blood
bench.
some young ones, yeah, definitely.
And I think Ruben Zadkovic wants to do that. So,
Great touch.
At the back end of the year, Brodie Taylor with the boot up.
Well read by Josh Pennington.
Peter Haynes. Matt Wheeler in from behind. It's back for Giantsopoulos. Sonata. Now for Giantsopoulos, but
there's no movement here from Magic. It's so stagnant. They need the midfield to rotate, come into the gaps here, at least show, because that moves the Edgeworth midfielders around.
We talked there a smudge about blooding some youngsters, but how do you move on some of these guys that are club legends?
Well, it depends if they want to stay. You know, I don't know the ins and outs inside the club anymore, but yeah, it depends if they want to stay. Obviously, you keep some for experience. Some are good just to have around the boys while you're transitioning.
Giantsopoulos. Wide for Robertson.
But yeah, looking at the squad, I think they need probably about 5 fresh faces for my liking for next year. I know we're only halfway through this year, but...
And I think, the way it's been this afternoon, it's been noticeable. As Bradbury takes them on. Maybe a route back in for Broadmeadow. His pass intercepted by Pat Wheeler.
And again, Edgeworth have 4 players.
Here's Kieran Sanders coming down the line, and Robertson. It's the deflection off Sanders, I thought, and will be an Edgeworth throw.
Yeah.
Well, that came off Kieran Sanders.
Just on that before, Edgeworth again just had 4 chasing defenders back, just clogging, compacting the space, hard to get through. They just work very well as a unit.
And this is probably as noticeable as it's been over the years. Just how much more intense
Adam
and
Corley
fresh.
there just ran from the centre of the park over for the throwing. Oh,
James Virgili. Wide for Sonata. He's got his side singing, hasn't he? Damien Zane. Stom Bazari.
yeah, Dom Mazzara, well defended. He just used his body.
Adam Corley. Now onto Sanders. He tries his luck from distance, and it wasn't far off either. Scored that goal against... scored a goal against Charlestown. Nice strike in the NPL. Kieran Sanders to get his account up and running for the season, and a hat-trick, as we mentioned, in the FFA Cup against Hamilton Olympic. He was outstanding that evening. Aaron McLaughlin just a thread it past Griffiths. And Virgili gets away from Don Bazari. Comes back Bazari and goes straight up the line for Brodie Taylor.
So that's the beauty about playing with 3 centre backs. If one of the strikers gets past one of the backs, you've got a spare person there. You've got like a sweeper, and that's what happened in that case, where Josh Evans was able to sweep round after Virgili got past Bazari. That's why I don't mind playing the 5. I'm not really a fan of a 3-4-3 or a...
Kieran Sanders about faces and curls it in again, and
Yeah, like yesterday, Pascal was playing like a 3-4-3. I'm more of a fan of a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2 sort of thing.
So you've got those wing backs.
So you got the wing backs. Sometimes with the wing backs with a 4-3-3, you got sort of two wider strikers as well, so it makes it a bit more difficult. So, and the thing is, you always have three at the back. Sometimes playing four at the back, you get your two wide right and left fullbacks going forward, and you can get caught 2-on-2 at the back sometimes. Where you're playing three at the back or five at the back, your wing backs bomb on, and your three central defenders stay, and you're quite safe. If you're under pressure, you play with five. If you're on top, you play with three. So it's a very flexible system.
Easy to manoeuvre.
Yeah, my last year in 2012, we played with like a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2 for the year, and yeah. But you need to have the right plays. You need to have the wing-back plays. So I had Luke Virgili.
Guys that are very fit and able to get up.
That's right. I had Luke Virgili and Scott Pettit either side. They're fit, they're quick, and they could knock a beautiful cross in.
Giant Sopless tries to find Peter Haynes, but Aiden Bryce, his head there. Edgeworth, though, very, very dominant for the opening 20 minutes, and since then it's been very much an arm wrestle.
Yeah, it has.
Edgeworth have had half chances, but just the final ball, they just haven't been able to find that final pass on the money. And that's been an issue for them this season, and that's why they've only beaten sides 1-0 and 2-1. They just, that final cross into the box. Or
all that polish like we spoke about yesterday, that finish. They've had a few pretty good chances. Adam Corley had another chance to finish off. Dylan Holtz. But, yeah, ball went wide.
Dylan Holtz onto Aiden Bryce. Josh Evans. Now Pasquale. Back to Pat Wheeler. Just looks long for McLaughlin. Little overhit. It's a warm day out there this afternoon, so both sides will be looking forward to the break.
Still 0-0. Sorry, 0-0 at
0-0 at Macquarie Field, Lake Macquarie and Western. Yeah, 22 degrees. Nice warm and sunny afternoon at Magic Park. It's Pat Wheeler onto Pasquale.
They just find pockets, don't they, the central three for Edgeworth. They find pockets. So it's easy for an Edgeworth defender or player to find their man.
Aiden Bryce with the throw. He was red carded, of course, last time these two sides met in round one.
Yeah, for handball on the line.
Resulted in the...
I've never seen someone after a red card run off so quickly.
He was gone.
He was gone straight to the...
on the ground. And he's been impressive since then, Aiden Bryce. Winner last weekend. His first of the season. For a lot of goal scorers this year, Edgeworth. They've had 9 different goal scorers in there, and they've only scored 17, so very much shared around. Moriyasu up the top with 6, Holtz 3, Brent Hamill on the bench this afternoon with 2, and then the rest with 1. It's Kieran Sanders. Lovely.
Beautiful ball.
Yes, down to Bryce, and now Dylan Holtz on to Taylor. He's got Corley again for a double. Adam Corley, and it's straight at Giant Sopolis.
Well played. And again, see Adam Corley, he was coming from the halfway line. He bolted to try and do the overlap. Dylan Holtz again. Nice ball off.
Adhul to Bradbury now. They can strike before half-time, Broadmeadow. Can make a real game of this in the second half. But they haven't had a chance, really, have they?
Not at all.
And that's not... being unfair, they really haven't had a chance. Broadmeadow.
They've really shut them down, Edgeworth. They've shown more intensity and closing the ball down a lot quicker.
So we'll see if
and I also think the formation Edgeworth's playing is really suiting them today, and closing the space. And I think Zane knows Magic like to play through the centre, which is not working today. But lately they've got Virgili out wide and high, which is good.
Well, here's Sonata. We said Magic, they've been good from set pieces this year. Robertson with the header and almost scrambled home by John Griffiths. Well, that was their moment, Broadmeadow.
He's away.
It's a long ball for Sanders. He's easily in front of Hull. He stepped back on the inside. He's got Brodie Taylor with him. Squares it up. Taylor! He scored twice against Broadmeadow in the regular season last year. He's back on the score sheet at Magic Park, and Edgeworth lead by 2-0.
Too easy, wasn't it? Too easy. Cavalier, the goalkeeper, seen 2v2 at the back here. He's knocked it long.
Is he in your team of the first?
Oh, you know what? He's been superb. That was a great ball by Cavalier. But Sanders, the ball went over Hill's head. He controlled it, took his time. Brody Taylor bombing on down the outside and finished it off. Well deserved.
And Nate Cavalier had one of the widest grins on his face, giving the thumbs up to Brody Taylor.
What I like about Edgeworth, they play the ball forward and quick. It's like a long pass. It's not like they're pumping the ball forward. It's a long pass. They do it very, very well. But then they get numbers in the box.
Svajkovic now inside to Vigili. Here's a chance for James Vigili. And Pat Wheeler, that is a brilliant tackle. And that's why he's one of the premier defenders in the competition.
And I've said that all along. This year he's been outstanding. Him and Josh Evans, but Pat Wheeler especially has been outstanding for me.
You can see maybe even last year, Vigili just having too much pace, burning around the outside. But Wheeler's too good there.
You know what? This game's not over yet. I think there's more goals in this.
Hayden Bryce flicks it up and over the top. Corley is offside. Giantsopoulos.
Magic, they're not tracking their runners in midfield. They're having a field day at the moment, Edgeworth.
And
the rotation.
Full credit. We spoke about how good Cavalier as ball forward was, but the pass from Sanders, the composure to not shoot himself, to go, hang on a sec, I've got a man unmarked. I'm going to play it straight to him, and he finished superbly, Brody Taylor. And
the other difference is, even before when Magic were on the attack, Edgeworth had 4 players bobbing back to defend the goal. In that instance, no one from Magic were running back to chase down Brody Taylor. He ghosted in or bombed down in that on the right-hand side and finished it with no pressure on him at all.
Giantsopoulos. It'll hold up in the breeze just against Magic in this first half. We tick down towards the break. Still 0-0 in the other match at Macquarie Field. Western and Lake Macquarie. It was 2-2 last time they met. And James Cleal says that will do us for the opening 45 minutes at Magic Park. And Broadmeadow, they're going to have a bit of work to do in the second half. 2 goals from Edgeworth in the opening half. Adam Corley and Brody Taylor sending them to the sheds with the lead. Your thoughts, Smudge?
Yeah, Edgeworth were very dominant in that first half. I love their formation, playing the 3-5-2. Their midfielders rotating, finding space, making those forward runs, especially beyond the Magic back 4. Magic can't control that. You know, to be honest, Magic are lucky it's not more than 2-0 at half-time.
All right, we'll have a break, 10 minutes, and we will be back half-time at Magic Park. It's Broadmeadow Magic 0, Edgeworth Eagles 2.
it's kind of like, it's so bad that it's not good, but it's so bad that it's watchable.
Did you watch the doc on Netflix about students who remade Rise of the Lost Ark? This is remade the whole movie because they just love it so much. With shit cameras and homemade stuff.
Hello and welcome back to...
Very good.
Hello. Test it. There we go. That's better. Hello and welcome back to Magic Park for the second half. Edgeworth Eagles running from right to left in the second half in their away kit, predominantly white in colour and Magic from left to right as Kieran Sanders gets us underway. Edgeworth with a 2-0 lead at half-time. Adam Corley and Brodie Taylor with the first half goals. Peter Haynes, the ball for Broadmeadow. It's up the line and finds James Virgili. We're going to have to score quickly in the second half, Broadmeadow. Limited chances in the opening half. It's Luke Virgili and Pat Wheeler. Little bump between the two of them. And Bryce.
Sorry about that, Bart. I just talking to Damien Zane.
What was the story from the Edgeworth sheds?
I said to him, obviously you would have been happy with the first half. He said, no, I wanted more goals. So, and they did create enough goals, actually. You know, they probably should have went in.
Enough chances.
Yeah, enough chances. So they probably could have went in 3 or 4. So, yeah, obviously he's happy the way the side's playing. And he feels like Magic's going to come out with more intensity in the second half. He said, we just need to match that.
Scott Robertson with the head up. And
there was a few conjectures down there. Everyone's asking me about the second goal. Was it offside?
Well,
and I said we haven't got replays.
There was a few moments Kieran Sanders was caught offside in the first half, so he was sailing very close to the win, but I'm not sure on that occasion. A change at the break for Broadmeadow Magic. Matt Hoole has come off, and Jacob Dowse has come onto the park for Broadmeadow Magic, and Charlie Cox has also come on this near side. So just try and check out who else has come from the field.
Dino Fadge, it looks like.
Dino Fadge,
so
it
looks like they've pushed the 2 up front.
So
they've gone a 4-4-2.
What's the reason for that, do you feel? Just no traction for Broadmeadow in the opening half, really. We said their only real chance came from a corner. John Griffiths almost scrambling at home.
Yeah, they need to change because, to be honest, Edgeworth were quite comfortable, weren't they? So he's probably just changed their shape a little bit because they're playing 5 at the back, so maybe push another man forward. Because when you play 4-3-3, sometimes it's just virtually 1 up front.
Hayden Bryce and Jacob Dowse involving in a bit of a arm wrestle there, grabbing each other's arms and swinging each other to the ground. Scored 7 goals in 6 matches in the 20s, Dowse, so we'll see if he can translate that into the first grade competition. Josh Evans just holding it up, going back to Pat Wheeler.
See, the other thing in the first half, Magic's defence was way too deep, therefore allowing Edgeworth a lot of space in midfield, and they looked very comfortable. So if you notice early in the second half, the back line's actually pushed up, trying to condense the space, which is good.
Cavalier. Straight up the ground. 0-0 in the other match at Macquarie Field. A few less goals this afternoon than what we saw. What did we see yesterday? About 14 goals, was it, or 15? We had 3-2, 3-2, and 3-1. Yeah, so
14 goals.
And based on the stats, I was having a look at, so Edgeworth up the top, they've only scored 17 goals last year. They scored 52 last year, and there's more matches that, they've played one more match at the halfway point this year. So we are seeing tighter defences this season than what we saw last year.
But also, like Edgeworth do it perfectly. They just grind out a result. So, they might not bomb numbers forward, to get the 2 or 3 extra goals, because ultimately it's all about 3 points in the end. 3 points get you premierships rather than goals.
And a win this afternoon for Edgeworth. Well, on the live ladder right now, they are up the top. They've leapfrogged the Lambton Jaffers. There's a 4-point gap now, back to Hamilton Olympic in 4th spot. That's where, if you're a Magic fan, you take a little bit of solace in the fact that Hamilton Olympic are in 4th, but they're only 5 points ahead of Broadmeadow. 6 points, I should say. 6 points ahead of Broadmeadow.
That's what I mean. So Broadmeadow, even if they lose today, they're not out of it. It makes it difficult because with Valentine winning, Valentine probably need another 3 wins out of 9 games. We'll probably get them into the top 4 at the end of the season.
But 6 points, it is a bridge to climb. There's McLaughlin, especially if Hamilton get a run of form going, especially after they play Adamstown next week. They'll have a couple of weeks off with the FFA Cup weekend, and then they'll be back into it. And they could prove unstoppable in the run home. Hamilton Olympic with a fully fresh and fit side. They've got competition for spots back again with Reece Cooper returning. So Reece Cooper, Andrew Swan, Danny Ireland will be back for them. Yeah,
I thought Reece Cooper looked good yesterday in his, 30-minute or 25-minute cameo. I thought he looked very good.
Yep.
Looked dangerous. Him and Sean Pratt will be a good combination in the centre of the park for Michael Balch.
There's a route back for Magic. It's got to start from here as Virgili curling it in. Scrambled away by Edgeworth. It wasn't convincing, but it'll do the job.
The other interesting fact as well with the Eagles today, if the Eagles do get up, McBreen away again, they're undefeated with McBreen out of the side.
Aiden Bryce's ball sits up perfectly inside the line for Sanders, but his ball in straight to Giantsopoulos. Yeah, they've got a very nice record. Very nice record against against sides in the NPL without Daniel McBreen. They've also got a pretty good record when he does play as well. As Holtz into Wheeler. Now Brodie Taylor turns and goes back to Holtz. He steps past a couple, Dylan Holtz. Curling it back, Sanders, and Sonata does enough to just put Sanders off.
Every time they go forward, they look dangerous, don't they, Edgeworth? It looks like something's going to happen.
You just think about it. Last season, Edgeworth only lost 4 matches. So 2 to Hamilton in the NPL Northern New South Wales, 1 in the FFA Cup to a side that, not many people would know in the Western Sydney Wanderers, and against Sydney Olympic in Sydney United, I should say, not Sydney Olympic, Sydney United in the NPL Final Series. So they had one hell of a season. Whether they had McBreen or not, they were very, very good. Peter Haynes. One thing Edgeworth have done well is they've beaten the sides. They've won the matches against sides below them on the ladder and the sides down the bottom of the ladder. More importantly than, say, Magic have in recent times. Last year, they had a draw with Western and I think they only beat them 1-0 in the other game. So,
too slow.
They weren't as convincing against those bottom sides. But Edgeworth have done that job perfectly in recent years. Peter Haynes now on the inside. Charlie Cox surging down the middle. Here's Cal Bradbury. Is this the chance for Magic? Bradbury gets clipped by Josh Evans. Peter Haynes appealing for the penalty. The assistant referee.
Close. It looked like he just touched him. It was only subtle.
I thought it could have been a penalty.
Yeah, it was very subtle, but it looked like he did clip him.
I think the Magic fans could feel a little hard done by. Aiden Bryce. Diagonal run across the ground. Sonata. But that was closest Magic have come. Cavalier. Now to Bazari. Piddington with his boot in.
Great ball.
Now Holtz to Taylor, just offside. But it's just been those little moments that haven't gone Broadmeadow's way this season. Those little half chances. There for Cale Bradbury. He seemed to be in two minds whether to go down or whether to stay up and have the shot. That's what it seemed to me.
Full credit to Josh Evans is defending. He's stood his ground.
Luke Virgili just out-muscled by Hayden Bryce.
They're just a very strong defensive unit, Edgeworth again. Hayden Bryce is another quality defender. And he's playing like the wing-back role today in that 3-5-2. Brent Hamill's on the bench.
He's got the team doctor bib on. I don't know what's going on there. There's some pressure on Cavalier by Cale Bradbury. All of a sudden, just a little bit of energy about Broadmeadow Magic. These youngsters on the field. Oh. Here's one of them.
Tucky's throws.
And here's Charlie Cox trying to find Peter Haynes. Griffiths straight onto the chest of Aiden Bryson. Look at this space for Brodie Taylor. Sonata just bounced awkwardly up and over him. Here's Sanders. He loves it in this position. I thought he was going to go onto that right, as we saw him do against Charlestown. Here he is, Sanders. Holding up the ball expertly and then curling his shot just wide.
Yeah, he probably just had too many touches there, Sanders. But in saying that, he kept the ball, which was good. He probably should have came back and just maybe Edgeworth held the ball, maybe suck Magic up a little bit because they're quite dense and deep in the 18-yard box. So
I was thinking it was going to be similar to Kane Goodchild's goal yesterday. That was a brilliant goal.
It was.
Picked up the ball on halfway, swerved past defenders and scored with a stunning solo strike. And talk about individual goals of the season. I don't know if there'll be many that will beat that.
Yeah, it was a great goal. Obviously, that's going to be...
I sent you the Nicky Carl video last night. Nicky Carl was a long way inside his own half when he picked up the ball, so I don't think he'd claim to be better than that. But yeah, it was up there from Kane Goodchild yesterday afternoon. Josh Evans.
Yeah, the Lambton defenders, they just sort of stayed off.
Just hung off him.
Yep.
This one over the line. And they're probably thinking, no, you don't normally score from out here, Kane. You're normally in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, it was a great finish.
So another throw for the Eagles. Aaron McLaughlin. Griffiths gets it outside the box and then Cox straight over the sideline. It's been better since the resumption of Broadmeadow Magic as McLaughlin for Adam Corley. Josh Evans played in the NSL, the Brisbane Strikers, just the one game. It shows he's a quality player, even if you only play the one game at that level as Adam Corley. The flag is down, he's onside, and Corley scores a second. Giant Soplis can hardly believe it. It took forever to come inside the back post.
What a ball by Brodie Taylor. Great touch, but Adam Corley ran from the left-hand side of the field through forward run beyond the back four. No one tracked him. And again, he's done that twice today. He's done it 3 times and he scored 2 goals.
We're saying Magic, they came out with a little bit more energy in the second half, but that will have stunned them and stung them.
Yeah, they're not tracking their runners in midfield, which is a major concern, and that's where Edgeworth's really getting on top.
And even with how slowly the ball trickled in, I think Giant Soplis thought someone could have got in there and cleared it away. Here's Bizzari. So Adam Corley quickly with a double. His first and then his second goal in the NPL with Edgeworth. Brodie Taylor just caught offside. And that
Magic's back for a very square, and that's part of the reason why Edgeworth's getting in beyond. They're making them deep runs. They're not tracking their runners, but they're back for a very square. They need to be staggered a little bit so someone could sweep round if a ball's played in between. And Dylan Holtz is away here.
Taylor just opened up at the back here, Dylan Holtz. This could, I don't want to say it, but this could get ugly again for Broadmeadow Magic here. The signs are there from Edgeworth.
I said to you about 5 minutes ago there's going to be more goals in this, and you could just see it.
Were you thinking Magic could grab a goal, or were you thinking more from the Edgeworth side?
I didn't want to say.
Here's Cale Bradbury.
I could see there being more goals, put it that way.
It's Pat Wheeler.
Oh, he's free here.
Now to Brodie Taylor. Holds it up. Look at this space over the top for Adam Corley. Josh Evans.
They're having a field day here, Edgeworth.
And now Aiden Bryce takes on Dusk, beats him with ease, and then blazes over from the same position that he scored last weekend. He hit that one along the ground. And here he is, the team doctor. He was wearing the team doctor bib a minute ago. Bren Hamill replacing Aaron McLaughlin. He's had a tough afternoon, Aaron McLaughlin. Hasn't been at his best this afternoon.
And they got Moriyasu on the bench. Very strong bench, But we'll see you tonight at 6 p.m. Mitchell Hughes.
About 6:35.
6:35. Sorry, yeah.
Aiden Gardner also on the bench as well. It's not
yeah,
bad
very strong bench.
As Aiden Bryce goes up the line. Luke Virgili looks for his brother, but there's Josh Evans. There again. I think Mitch Hughes is trying to make a quick getaway before the scoreline gets any worse. As we were saying last time he was here, 7-0 Magic went down
Maitland.
to Maitland. At least for Magic's sake, there haven't been any penalties this afternoon. Although, we may have cursed it now. It's Kieran Sanders. It's been 7 in the last 3 matches here. As Piddington tried to control the ball and got overrun.
See, and this 3-5-2 shape, look, Aiden Bryce high and wide. See, what it does, it spreads the defence. Dylan Holt's there, just dropping into a pocket. He's free and available, turns, but his ball was passed to Brodie Taylor. It's such a flexible system. I really enjoy it personally, the system. Well played.
Just saying it's Broadmeadow now, just resorting to the long ball over the top now. That's been the last couple of chances with Virgili and Bradbury. Peter Haynes. They seem to be devoid of ideas, don't they? Yeah.
See, Edgeworth, look at the width they've got. They've got Brent Hamill on the left, Aiden Bryce on the right, really stretching the game, and there's space everywhere. It was a poor pass by Pasquale, but there's space everywhere here for Edgeworth.
Charlie Cox on the ball there. I like the energy of these young Magic players, though.
Dylan Holtz is free here.
And here is Holtz surging straight down the middle of the ground. Dylan Holtz comes to Giants-Topoulos, and tell you what, he's been very good this year, Nico Giants-Topoulos. I know he's had a couple of issues with penalties, but in general play, he's been very, very good. I know they've conceded, what is it now, 19 before today, so 22 in 11 matches, so 2 a game, but could have been a whole lot worse if he wasn't between the sticks. It's Jacob Dowse.
And again, as Dylan Holt's deep run from midfield, that forward run, they're not tracking. They're having a field day, Edgeworth.
There's just so much space right down the middle of the ground. So here is the final change for Broadmeadow Magic. So Takumi Sanada not going to come off. It'll be Scott Robertson.
Looks like he's injured. He's been limping for the last few minutes, I noticed, from one of the challenges.
And that explains why there was so much space in that central area. So Jeremy Wilson comes on. He played in the 20s this afternoon. Here's Pasquale. It's Peter Haynes. Now back for Piddington. Now Sanders.
Oh, great turn.
And Sanders, he turns away from Wilson. Sends Brent Hamill away. Then Piddington into Hamill. Fortuitously for just the goal kick. Like Virgili. Now for Jacob Dowes. Charlie Cox does well to hold off Corley. Now Jeremy
that's
Wilson.
better.
Nice passes here from Broadmeadow Magic. Cox onto Bradbury. Young Brigade standing tall at the moment for Broadmeadow. In a period of great need for them. It's Virgili. Take on Aiden Bryce. He does. Curls it in and, well, thought it may have crossed the line. It has. Just the goal kick. Next weekend, Broadmeadow are up against Western. They beat 2-0 in round 2.
Be a tough game up there.
Rockwell Automation Park it will be.
We've said before, Western's getting better as the seasons throughout the season. It's still 0-0 Lake Macquarie versus Western. I think we both predicted a draw in that match. Did you? Or
I tipped Western.
Oh, you tipped Western, yeah.
I tipped Western,
I tipped a draw. I thought, Western are really starting to improve.
Just the back end of matches. Lake Macquarie have just been falling away of late. Haynes and Hamill come together, but no foul. It's Corley, a neat back heel onto Brent Hamill. Now Brodie Taylor onto Hamill. Pennington with a boot in. It's an important interception.
Haynes did well there.
Here's Sonata. So with that change, Jeremy Wilson coming on. No Tyson
and again,
Cummings.
Look, there's 8 players in the Edgeworth defence.
It's just a wall of white shirts.
It is.
They've only conceded 4 times away from home this year, Edgeworth. This shows you just how good they are at just getting the job done. Away from home, they've scored 6, conceded 4 in 4 matches. That was low-scoring stuff.
Oh, well played.
When they've been away from home. This has bucked the trend with a 3-0 scoreline. Griffiths just tries to chip it over the top. Evans sticks a boot out. And now John Griffiths tries his luck. And he's almost taken out Mick Bulch over there in the just behind the goal. You can probably see in the background a shot the scoreboard. It is 3-0. Skigo Moriarty makes his way onto the ground. He replaces Edgeworth's hero this afternoon. 2 goals.
Corley.
Adam Corley.
He had a great game. He was very dangerous for him, very hard to track.
Dylan Holtz with the flick on. Moriarty. Aiden Bryce. Just slowing things down for the moment. Finds Sanders. Lovely ball to Taylor. Here's Brent Hamill. Steps away from Sonata. Chips one forward. And again, just that final pass. And that's what Damien Zane's been frustrated about. Those final balls into the box. Going straight to the keeper. It's Jacob Dowes. Well, that was unlucky for him. And here's Moriarty. He tries his luck. And Giant Soplis with a little bit of a nervy moment. No one around him. Do you remember the goal he scored against Broadmeadow Magic late last year in the 2-0 win at Jack McLaughlin Oval?
Yeah, I do. He stepped inside Josh Pennington into his left-hand side and just a beautiful strike. The timing of the shot was superb.
That was a special goal from...
Great challenge by Wheeler on Virgili.
One of many for him.
And here's Brodie Taylor making the run.
Pat Wheeler holds it up. We've got a goal at Macquarie Field. Lake Macquarie with a 1-0 lead there. Not sure the scorer as of yet. Get that to you as soon as we find out. 71st minute, that one was scored. Sanders tries his luck and almost dipping in just a little too high.
I like the way he sized the defender up, seen the space, didn't try to get past or play. He's seen the gap, the top right-hand corner, and just knocked it over the bar. He reminds me of an old Warren Spink who played for the Breakers and for many NSL clubs, and he lives locally now.
Warren Spink. There you go. Josh Evans.
Similar sort of build.
Sanders. Again, holding it up nicely. Back for Pascoe. Look at this space for Dylan Holtz now. And Bryce just a little fatigued, so he's not pushing up on the right side, but Doesn't really matter at this point in time.
Oh, Dowsey's miles out of position there.
And Aiden Bryce takes full advantage, curls it in. Moriyasu. He's saying it was Giant Soplis got a touch, but referee James Cleal.
Yeah, Dowse was out of position there. It was pushed too high. The ball was able to be played in behind to Bryce.
For a man that's scored 7 goals in 6 matches, he is playing in a more defensive role. We may have a red card at Macquarie Field. Interesting.
Yeah, virtually the minute after the goal.
Minute after, so tell you what, they'll do well now, Lake Macquarie, to hold on to that. And they've had some gut-wrenching finishes this year of the Roosters. They lost in the last minute against Edgeworth. They drew in the last minute against the Jets Youth and against Hamilton Olympic. Sam Walker. Oh, I tell you what, is there a more deserving man? Scored the goal for Lake Macquarie in his 100th match, and it was a bomb from 30 out. So, I tell you what, if there's any karma in the world, Sam Walker, he deserves that, doesn't he?
Don't have to be, well, obviously we haven't seen it, but they might be in contention, obviously, for goal of the week with Goodchild. Goodchild was a very special goal as well, so we might have an equal.
I know, we may have to have a vote. But the script writer's got it spot on today. And, well, you'd probably have to say, at the moment, he's got it spot on. Lake Macquarie, for Sam Walker's sake, you'd hope they'd win, as Moriyasu again gets away from Haynes. The Edgeworth fans
high quality, wasn't it? Yeah. Talking to Damien Zane through the week, and I was talking about the...
Here's Taylor. I thought he was going to size up the shot from distance. So Pasquale, that's neat. Dylan Holtz on the angle. Giant Soplis.
Great turn, wasn't it? Allowed the ball to run in front of him.
It was as if everything just froze there, and Pasquale had so much time just to play the ball to Holtz. Damien Zane must be thrilled with how he's performed this afternoon, Lockie Pasquale.
Lockie Pasquale, yeah, exactly.
First game back in the starting side.
You know what? The whole starting 11 have been superb. And he's like Adam Corley, who scored 2 goals, was substituted. He had a great game as well.
So, ball curled in from the corner by Holtz and over for an Eagles throw. Just take the sting out of the match. Less than 20 to go now. The only thing missing from this afternoon's match is streaker. We had a streaker in round 1. Where's our mate, the streaker that came on in the last few minutes in round 1? It's Josh Evans. Aiden Bryce, I think you'll find it difficult to come and meet us up here, though, Smudge.
Yeah, we met him after the game, didn't we?
He came over and...
Yeah, he was a bit of a character, wasn't he? Yeah, he was a bit of a character.
Still in Holtz. Now on to Moriyasu. Luke Vigili comes across and Moriyasu turns away from him. Bryce. Pasquale. Straight across the halfway line to Bazari. And now Sanders. He touched back and Pasquale. Aiden Bryce chipping it forward. Soplis takes it nicely, and the wind has died down in the second half. It was fairly windy in the latter stages of the opening half, and since then it's been
Pat Wheeler
pretty still as Pat Wheeler.
And a great ball.
He's been good against James Vigili this afternoon, hasn't he? That early chance in the match where
he's been good all year, mate. He's been high quality, yeah. The combination between him and Josh Evans has been just superb this year. And Aiden Bryce coming on for Dylan Holtz, it looks like.
So I can tell you the red card for Lakes, Josh West, has been sent off for a bad tackle. That's the information I've got from Gary Fisher. I'm thinking a straight red.
Just on Dylan Holtz, he's had a tremendous game today.
Outstanding. Again, Dylan Holtz.
Assisted in 2 goals.
3 this season. 3 goals this season. 2 assists this afternoon.
Yeah.
Hayden Gardner comes onto the park. just the 4 substitutions, or 4 potential substitutions on the bench for Edgeworth this afternoon. Josh Lowe, just the goalkeeper, not coming on. Magic had the full 5. Tyson Cummings and Brad McKenzie. Brad McKenzie, the backup goalkeeper, and Cummings, the striker, returning from injury. Moriyasu goes to ground. This doesn't look good for Moriyasu. He's just rolling back up.
To me, it looked like Johnny Griff actually got the ball, to me, and Moriyasu jumped.
We just sort of jammed in there,
Yeah, just
wasn't it?
jammed in to me, yeah. So I thought it was a good call by James Cleal. And Moriyasu looks back on his feet, looks good. Probably just a bit rattled by the challenge.
It's Hayden Bryce. Looks across for Hamill. Sonata with the head in there.
Great ball by Haynes.
Here's Bradbury. Still has the ball on a string, doesn't he, Peter Haynes? And Gardner, well, he was in the back of Bradbury, and then he's tripped over, and Bradbury, well, it was going to be impossible for him to get through there, just with the amount of Edgeworth players.
6 players. There were 6 players just hugging the D. And that's what they've done all day, so it's impossible to go through them. You have to go around them. Unless you're going to play a 1-2, you can't run through them. You have to play a 1-2 and make a forward run beyond. And that's what Edgeworth's been doing to Magic.
Next Sunday, Edgeworth up against Lambton. That should be a good contest.
And we might see Ryan Griffith.
We may see Ryan.
Well, he's available. I've been told he's available. So
He's available. It depends what's happening with Tom Waller, whether he is going to be deemed ineligible for matches from this point forward. He's going overseas.
And it looks like maybe Michael Kanarowski may be back, and Ridge Mapu, two of their key players for this year.
Just what they need before the FFA Cup the week after. Sonata now to Wilson. Just turned his back and tried to play it through, but it's straight to Cavalier. Not one of his best balls. Straight to Krivis, but there's the pressure from Moriyasu. And the throw will go their way. So still the score remains the same at Macquarie Field.
This isn't a match around, so we should give our sponsors a bit of a plug, Bart. Premier Sports Supplies for our Man of the Match, but there's no Man of the Match today, or award today, so only on the live games, or the Match of the Round games.
Yes, and Harry Schnitzel's play of the day as well. Thanks to Harry for supporting us this year.
Yep, Harry gave us a text last night saying he scored 5 goals playing against West Wallsend. Or Singleton, I can't remember.
Singleton
It was. Yeah, giving himself a plug. I think he wanted the Snitty, actually, for Player of the Day, to be honest.
Giant Soplas, yeah. Yeah, I think he did.
And
5 goals,
yep.
It's not bad, is it?
And also Reece Thompson, Hunter Valley PRD. If you're buying or selling, contact Reece, or contact one of us. I think I was telling you yesterday, I was talking to Reece during the week about maybe an investment property up Maitland Way, my old stomping ground, and he's saying Ashtonfield and East Maitland are the boom.
Going like hotcakes.
At the moment, yeah. It's where the growth is.
It's just drifting towards full-time, isn't it, Smudge, this one?
And that's what Edgeworth do well. They're just closing the game out. They'll be happy. They'll be very happy to walk away 3-0 at Magic.
Yeah, Edgeworth at the top of the ladder as it stands at the moment. You can't see Magic fighting back from here. Lambton in second, Valentine third. So Edgeworth 24 points, Lambton 23, Valentine 22, and then Hamilton in fourth on 18, Maitland 16. Lake Macquarie at the moment on 16 with a 1-0 lead, but they've only got 10 men. There's Sanders back for Hamill. Is there a fourth for Edgeworth? I'm surprised there's not. It just went.
It's well played by Edgeworth. They get numbers in the box every time. And look, they've got numbers at the back. I've been very impressed with it, again, with Edgeworth. For me, and I've said it a few times, they're the side to beat this year. They're getting better with each game. They can be flexible with their shape. They normally play in a 4-3-3. Today they're playing a 5-3-2 or 3-5-2.
Moriyasu. Here's Pat Wheeler chipping it forward. Gardner sends Moriyasu on the run. Didn't get the power behind the pass he would have liked, but Gardner is back on the ball, finding Brent Hamill. Hamill back to Brodie Taylor.
He's been good today, Brodie Taylor.
Kiko Moriyasu, really interesting stat. He's only scored 4 of his 24 NPL goals away from Jack McLaughlin Oval.
Okay.
It's Brodie Taylor. He's never scored at Magic Park. He's played here a few times. Played here in the grand final last year and in the 1-1 draw earlier in the season. There's Aiden Bryce. Now across the face. Yeah, early on last season in the 1-1 draw, Brodie Taylor scored in that match. And then Moriyasu in the grand final didn't get on the score sheet either here at Magic Park. So his 3rd match here. Brent Hamill finds Sanders with the throw, but Magic are there to intercept. Pasquale. I'll tell you what, if there was ever a time for a Chris Turner bad joke, now would be the time, wouldn't it? Now would be the time, Smudge. Or are you still
Is he?
I don't know if he's watching. I think
He's on his way to Adelaide, I think, today.
He's up in the sky on his way to Adelaide. It's Pat Wheeler.
He's keeping the railways safe, he always tells me.
Keeping the railways nice and safe. That's right. It's a tough job. As we see.
Yeah, he's flying around the countryside all the time, so.
Just a bit of cramp. Just try and check who.
He's done some miles today.
Luke
Virgili, yeah, he's been up and down the line, he's done some miles.
Just check that score at Macquarie Field. Still 1-0 late Macquarie. Surely it couldn't happen again. They concede late for the 4th time.
Yeah, that comes down to one or two things. It's either a mentality thing or it's a fitness thing. And could be a combination of both. What's left? 5 minutes in that game.
5 minutes in that one. We've got a little bit more time here at Magic Park. Aiden Bryce curling it in. It was 2-0 at the break here at Magic Park. Adam Corley with a goal in the opening 5 minutes. And then Brodie Taylor just before the break. And Adam Corley sunk another one in the second half before being substituted. And really, since Adam Corley's 3rd, it's just been Edgeworth in the grind, really. Just grinding out the results here. And Broadmeadow Magic have not troubled them one bit. We'll watch this play finish, and then I'll tell you what was very impressive just then. Here's Vigili back to Haynes. There you go. So as Josh Evans went with the ball forward, Lachlan Pasquale, as soon as he went forward, Lachlan Pasquale dropped back into his central role, into the back 3. That's what you call a great team unit. Everyone knowing their jobs. Aiden Bryce now. If you've just joined us, it's been Edgeworth just one step ahead this afternoon. Too quick. Yeah, just showed more intensity. It looked like they really wanted it more. Gardner. The average age a lot lower than Broadmeadow Magic's. This chip ball over the top for Sanders. He's almost scored already this afternoon. Charlie Cox gets his boot through it, and Aiden Bryce chips it to Brodie Taylor. Here's Hamill. He's got a good goal in the first half. Keeps that run going for him in regular season matches against Broadmeadow Magic. He's scored in the last 3 now, Brodie Taylor. It's Taylor's touch on for Bazari, and Taylor's there again. He's been very good today, Taylor. John Griffiths strong again. So is Josh Evans. He's been rock solid. The back 3 have been rock solid. Bazari, Wheeler. Who are you leaning towards for your man of the match? Pat Wheeler. He's been so good. Superb. Here's Taylor now.
Taylor's been good. Unfortunate ball then. I was just about to mention his name, but
Yeah, Taylor's been good, but he's had a couple of missed opportunities in front of goal as James Virgili just offside.
there hasn't been a bad play for Edgeworth. They've been superb. Adam Corley scoring 2 goals.
I'd probably go with Pat Wheeler.
Yeah, for me, Dylan Holst was superb until he got substituted. Josh Evans has been superb, but Pat Wheeler for me has been probably the standout defender in the competition so far. For me.
And he's been there when Josh Evans hasn't. Josh Evans, this is his first match back since the 1-0 win over Valentine back in round 10 for Edgeworth. He missed the FFA Cup match against Hamilton. They won that 4-2 and then missed last weekend's match against Lake Macquarie. They got the job done there 2-1. Hamill. Now Sanders. Didn't have anyone with him, but it didn't matter. There was just no pressure on him, was there?
Sanders has been good today. He's held the ball up well. He's brought his players in, created a goal for Brodie Taylor.
It's Aidan Gardner towards the far corner. He's just going to hang in down there and try and win a corner, you'd think. Luke Virgili, he's too experienced for that, but he only clears it as far as Aidan Bryce. Here's Pasquale. He's had the ball on a string this afternoon.
Great touch by Taylor.
Sanders back for Moriyasu. And now Aidan Gardner. Crosses into the middle. Brodie Taylor, can he be the first there? He's just in front of him. There's Sonata. And really this second half is very much about conserving energy as well for Edgeworth, isn't it? With the battles to come in the next 2 weeks. Broadmeadow also.
But they've got a large playing roster.
Yeah, Broadmeadow also, they'll be in the FFA Cup against Valentine. Not as tough a match based on positions on the ladder, but not too far off than what Edgeworth have against Lambton.
Look how many players Edgeworth's got back here. They've just clogged the centre. 2, 4, 6, 7.
It's almost impossible to get through.
Impossible to get through. Look at the players.
Brent Hamill. Just it down for Taylor. He is. Shot from Charlie Cox. It's too high from him.
As soon as the ball broke down, 7 players got into that around the D there. How are you going to get past that? Such a well-drilled side they are.
Just thinking about that.
Very disciplined. They're very disciplined.
Yeah, very much so. I was just thinking about that FFA Cup match Broadmeadow have against Valentine. The reason I say not as tough a match as Lambton, I know they're so close on the ladder, Lambton and Valentine. Probably more so that I think Valentine, I'm thinking, will come in with a weaker side because Darren Stills.
They did during the week, like the FFA Cup during the week. His preference is probably the NPL, where teams like Magic, even Olympic, who are out now. Edgeworth definitely, like, the FFA Cup's a big thing for them as well.
But it is a weekend, so it's a spare weekend, so he's going to, it's effectively like another round of the competition. So,
but that's the thing, anyone who's carrying a little niggle, do you rest them, get them ready to go? Because Edgeworth's Valentine's in a great position here. I think 3 more wins out of 9 games gets them in the 4 this year. Well, that'll be 32 points or so. I think 32 points.
22 at the moment, 3 wins and they're on
31. So I was thinking 32 points. If you get 32 points or above, you'll be in the 4.
Just about gets you there. They do have a tough run to end the season. They'll have Broadmeadow Magic straight after the FFA Cup weekend. So few contests there that they'll be meeting each other twice in the space of a week. Edgeworth and Lambton and Broadmeadow and Valentine.
Edgeworth here just happy to wind down the clock. It suits them.
So good news for Lake Macquarie fans. You're probably watching the stream of the Lake Macquarie game, so you're probably not watching this, but Lake Macquarie have scored, so they lead 2-0 against Western.
So where does that put Lakes on the table?
Lakes have climbed up. They're equal with Maitland now. They're equal with Maitland in about 6th spot on the ladder.
Yeah, pushes them up to 16 points. They'll actually jump Maitland on goal difference.
Yes, they will. They're up to 5th. Maitland back in 6th. So they're only 2 points off Hamilton Olympic in 4th, Lake Macquarie. They're just nipping at the heels there. They've been a strong performer this season as Bradbury just clips Pasquale. No whistle from James Cleal.
It's cramping, I think.
And Evans just goes over the sideline. Blake Green with the second for Lake Macquarie. And yes, let's be honest, Smudge, the second half has been a bit of a snooze, hasn't it?
It has. I think
it's been probably the longest half I've watched for a while.
Edgeworth's been very professional. They've gone about their business and just closed the game, and a deserved 3-0 win here today.
And nothing against Edgeworth for that. They've just basically been too good, haven't they?
Oh, too good. Too good. From the onset, Magic were lucky not to be more than 2-0 down at half time. To be honest, Edgeworth, there hasn't been a bad player in their side. They've been superb. I think Pat Well is probably best on ground, as we agree. But
the ability for them just to go, all right, let's just grind this out. And Magic haven't caused them any issues whatsoever.
I haven't seen Cavalier make a save. By a routine.
Yeah, just a grab from across.
Just a grab from across, yeah, like... Yep. Johnny Griff had, from the corner, had the half chance in the box.
Yep, that was it. That was the only chance.
That's the only chance.
It's been a sorry afternoon.
Yeah, they're just not creating anything at the moment, Magic. In saying that, Edgeworth's pressure on the ball, even their formation today, didn't allow Magic to create anything. But they don't play with any triangles. They're not playing with any width. So it's very, very condensed and compact. It's hard to play the ball through. There's no in and out, no forward runs beyond the back three.
It'll be one win in 8 weeks after
for Magic.
This match for Broadmeadow. That is not great for them. It'll be the lowest position they will be on the ladder. They're in 7th still. Charlestown unable to leapfrog them, and Western with the loss this afternoon. But the lowest position they've been on the ladder since 2014 when they finished 9th. That was a season where they were only one spot from the relegation zone. They were a few points away from it, but just hasn't gone their way. Just haven't been good enough. Simply Broadmeadow this season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Don Bazzari.
And again, you see the width. Brent Hamill nice and wide. It spreads to the back four.
Sonata to Haynes. He's up the middle of the ground. And really, goal scoring, take out that Jets Youth 5-1 win, and goal scoring has been a real problem for Broadmeadow the last 2 weeks. They've only managed the 1 goal, a deflected free kick from Sonata last weekend. Brodie Taylor chips forward, straight to Giantsopoulos. So Lake Macquarie, 2-0 over Western at the moment. Sam Walker with a bomb, and Blake Green with a neat strike as well. Josh West with a red card as well for Lake Macquarie. So didn't all go their way, but it's a huge result for them.
Big game next week against Valentine.
Yep. That is full-time, that one. So confirmed, Lake Macquarie into 5th on the ladder. Leapfrogging Maitland, who have the bye this weekend. And as we mentioned, local derby against Valentine next weekend, who they towed up earlier in the season in that catch-up match from round 2. 3-0, they beat them. Pasquale holds the ball up, finds Sanders. Sanders goes with the outside of his boot to find Brent Hamill. Stands up Sonata, gets around him. Aiden Bryce tracks across. For Taylor. Pasquale. Now Bazzari.
Just keeping the ball.
It's just impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Griffiths. Is there a final chance for Magic? Pat Wheeler.
That was a great turn by Bradbury.
It was just too good in the end there for Pat Wheeler. He had to bring him down. was enough to stop the momentum. Here's Dowes.
There's just numbers in the box for Edgeworth again.
8 players in there. 8 players behind the ball. James Cleal puts Magic fans out of their misery. And the streak extends to 8. Edgeworth continue their recent dominance against Broadmeadow Magic, and they climb to the top of the ladder once more. They sit a point ahead of the second place Lambton Jaffers, who they will face next weekend in the first of 2 battles, which could go a long way to determining the end result in both the NPL and the Westfield FFA Cup. For Magic, well, their finals hopes, they're in tatters this afternoon. 32 points, we're saying, Smudge, looks to be the cut-off, and that means 7 wins from their last 9 for Broadmeadow. If they can make it from here, they definitely deserve it. Broadmeadow Magic, not a great afternoon for them.
You know what, if they make it from here, they're going to be hard to beat in the semis, but they have to make it. Yeah, they're going to need about 7 wins out of 9 games, which is going to be very, very difficult. You know what? Edgeworth were way too good today. They were very impressive. They didn't have a bad player on the park. I actually really enjoyed their shape, playing a 5-3-2. It's a very flexible system. And you know what? I keep saying it. They're going to be very hard to beat. I predicted them at the start of the season to win the comp. They're getting better and better. And I think they're a better side this year than what they were for the last 2 years.
Well, there's a statement. There is a statement. I don't think I've heard Magic Park quite so quiet in the second half this afternoon.
Players are very dejected.
Yeah, very, very tough afternoon if you're a Magic fan. We'll move on to next weekend, Lambton and Edgeworth. Smudge, your thoughts on that one?
To me, to be honest, it's going to be hard to go past Edgeworth, especially at home. I'm not sure what the ground is like out there. It might be, it was a bit rough a few weeks ago against Valentine. But Lambton, you know, be full of confidence after their win yesterday against Hamilton. They weren't at their best by far, and probably in the end lucky to win. However, they get Michael Kantarowski back. They get Ridge Marpu back. They get Ryan Griffith.
And what do you think the coaches are going to do? Like, are they going to give much away for the FFA Cup the week after?
Oh, they're going to play their best 11 next week, because I'll tell you what, whoever wins that game, you know, that could be the vital game in who wins the premiership here.
Well, I think if Edgeworth win, that could be the game that wins them the premiership. If they lose, I don't think it's an issue for them, because they are a point ahead of Lambton. So if Lambton win, they only get 2 points ahead of Edgeworth.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So it's going to be an interesting one. That's our live match next week, and looking forward to it. But we've got our weekly show this week, Bart, on maybe Thursday night?
Thursday night this week for the weekly show, because the State of Origin on Wednesday night, so we don't want to go head-to-head with that. So 7 o'clock Thursday night. We might keep it there for the rest of the season, actually, on Thursdays. So just to, keep it consistent.
We'll go head-to-head with the footy show.
We'll go footy show. The footy show's not on until 8:30.
Oh, isn't it? I don't watch it, so.
All right, so, that wraps it up from Magic Park this afternoon. Not a great afternoon if you're a Broadmeadow Magic fan. Full time at Magic Park. Broadmeadow Magic 0, Edgeworth Eagles 3.